Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-Hole and it's by user Chico Ravelli. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my husband's family to stay with us for the holidays? We have a one-bedroom apartment with a 7-month-old. Space is already so limited. My husband's sister and her family are flying across the country to spend Christmas with us for 11 days. They insisted they stay with us instead of getting a hotel. Of course, my husband agrees to this without talking to me. When he does ask me about it, I explained how it's going to be crowded. The noise has to be kept to a minimum because of the baby. My son already has trouble sleeping, so who knows how it'll be by next month. Husband is working some days while they're here, so he insists they use my car to go and do stuff while I'm home with the kid. The problem I have the most is when I speak up, he immediately says I'm against his family, even though he's always talking crap against mine. My family hasn't been over to see my son yet because they know it's going to take hotel and car rental fees. My family doesn't insist on uprooting my entire routine for 11 days. My mom can get me discounts because she works at a hotel, but that's not good enough for his family. And I just think it's rude to insist on sleeping on an air mattress that will take up half our living room. My son will not have a safe place to play. I'll have to lock myself away to pump every 3 to 4 hours. Our routines will be shattered. I have a feeling their kid will be loud and wake the baby. Husband said, "Don't get mad if sister's kids break things." He's 5, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm made to feel like the a-hole because I have an opinion. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Am I the a-hole? Not at all, OP. Your husband should not have agreed to his sister coming to visit, and his sister should have simply just better judgment overall than to say, "Hey, I'm gonna take my family to your one-bedroom apartment for 11 days. But that shouldn't be something that you point out to your husband. That should be him saying, "Hell no, you can't come here. I'm sorry, I love you, but you're gonna need to find other accommodations if you want to spend Christmas with us because, well, we have a newborn. My wife has a different routine now, and we can't crowd the apartment like that." Your husband should have your back. He's failed at this one hard. Also, it's not a good sign that he's allowed, let's say, to talk crap about your family, but whenever you say something, he's got pushback and he acts like a victim because you don't like his family. That's a problem, because he should know that his family and your family are you two and your baby. Everything else is extended family. He needs to get his priorities straight. You are not the a-hole, OP. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Simunichi26 says, "Not the a-hole. Good grief, I would be leaving to visit my own family with the baby for 11 days. He can deal with his sister. Good luck." 3 Maltese says, 11 days? No, 2 days top for someone to sleep on an air mattress in your living room. This isn't about being against his family. It isn't a family matter at all. You simply cannot host in your home for 11 days in a one-bedroom apartment, especially for 3 additional people. I would offer the car, but say that they can use it on specific days, but not during the entire time. Or his sister can take your husband to work and use his car while he is at work. Who is buying all of the food and will be cooking the meals? Bia834 says, "Take your car and head to a hotel and get a room. Let your husband stay at the apartment with his family and cook and clean for them and pack away any items of yours they may break. Leave your husband's stuff out. Who cares if they break his stuff? Make sure your husband stays at the apartment with them, and when they leave, he better have the place cleaned up and ready for you to come home to it. I bet he does not make that mistake again." OK Tonight 3703 says, "Not the a-hole. At this point, it doesn't matter if you love his family or are against his family. The issue is he didn't discuss anything with you. He told you they would be staying 11 days. He told you that they would be using your car. He's even telling you how to feel when he says don't get mad when his sister kids break something. Plus, he will be working some days and will get a break from the chaos. Overnight guests should be a 2 yes, 1 no decision. It's BS that he thinks it's okay to tell you anything. Tell him that it's your home too, and they can't stay, and it was wrong to make plans without your input. If he ignores you, then make it clear that they are his guests and his responsibility. They will not be using your car. You will not be hosting, no cooking or cleaning. Then plan to be out of the house all day. The lack of respect is terrible. And Molgab says, contact your mom and either go to her or see if she could get you a discount on a room and take your car with you. Just tell everyone you have no issues with them staying as long as they clean up after themselves, as you'll be busy caring for the baby. Let them be under each other's feet, and that way any arguments that happen, you're not there and you didn't cause them. You can't get the blame if it's nothing to do with you then. Hopefully, your son will settle in the hotel and you can have a bit of peace away from the obvious a-holes. Well, the community clearly agrees OP is not the a-hole and they gave her a lot of ideas. So now let's move on with the first of 2 updates to see what happened next. Where to even begin unwrapping this crap show? I had brought up the issue with his family staying a couple times after my first post. I had to Google how to talk to a narcissist before the approach. I said how it would affect the baby and I, and how it would affect his family with me having to get up in the middle of the night, and how my son needs space for his playpen. Baby-proofing a 1-bedroom has proven more difficult than I thought. He seemed understanding, however, wasn't budging on wanting them to stay. I just got the old, "We'll keep analyzing it." Since I can cancel my hotel reservations a day before check-in, I went ahead and booked 10 nights just to lock in cheap rates. I felt more secure having a backup in case crap hit the fan at my house. On our way to a family dinner with his family, my son keeps getting blasted by sunlight while driving. I have tried the usual sunshades on the windows. A few days ago I got these curtains for the side windows. They hang on with magnets, so I grabbed them from my car and hung them in my husband's car, as he was the one driving us 3 hours away to his family gathering. He kept saying the blinds were blocking his blind spots, so I'd tied them open so he could see, but my son could also keep some shade. After it still being a problem, my husband asked for them to be removed and proceeded to tell me how I need to ask him before I just go and do stuff. That's when I lost my crap. I brought up the visit and how he never discussed it with me prior to telling his sister that they could stay. Of course, this causes him to blow up, saying he doesn't need my permission as it is his house, over and over. I'm told to shut the F up and man up. If this was your family, I don't want to be with a bitch see you next Tuesday wife. Oh, that would have been the exit for me. I remain calm and reiterate that it's my home too, and it's about respect that he talks to me first. It's not about control, it's about respect. Respect for my son and our routines, comfort and safety. He then goes on to say how I don't respect him and I just turned this around and made it about you. Holidays are classically stressful. Look at Home Alone where they have that huge house and it's chaos. Oh wow, he's an idiot. Okay, but this isn't a movie, it's real life. If we had a guest room, I would still be annoyed, but I would be more comfortable manning up and letting them stay as they wouldn't obscure my routines. So he says I ruined the dinner. Husband stayed at work until he had to come home just to sleep. Didn't see his son for almost 3 days. I had to text him first. Come and have an adult conversation with me. You haven't seen your son in 3 days. To which I get, but I'm working. No crap, I meant after, and no one wants me around anyway. I'm only good for food and money. Good lord, I didn't respond to this. Needless to say, he came home and spent time with his son. We had an adult conversation. His family staying is not changing. He said he already told them yes and doesn't want to now tell them to get a hotel. A hotel is way too expensive. Even at this discount you're talking about, it's not gonna be $50. Lol, it actually was. I booked 10 nights for $518 total. I told him and he just rolled his eyes. His sister had texted me personally and asked if they could use my car to do one thing when my husband is working. She said they would rent a car if not. Just the fact that she asked with respect made me say yes to using it. We agreed that if I needed it, they would bring it back. My son and I will be okay. My thoughts? Continue my routines. Do what I need to do. If they can't handle it, they are free to get a hotel. I will not uproot my life for 11 days. It's not about me, it's about my son. He will be taken care of regardless of guests. My question is, should I keep the hotel? I want to have it in case my son and I have to sleep there. If people keep waking up my son, I'm going to have a huge problem, especially if we're trapped. But I also don't want to waste the money and never use it. I can't decide. For everyone saying I should get a divorce over this, that's valid. I want to give him one more chance to start discussing with me. If he can't respect that, then yeah, it's done. I'm tired of him stepping outside and having these conversations without my input. Wish me luck. Well, Opie, I'd say that if you're at the point where you're on the fence about divorce and just want to give him one more chance, I would keep the hotel because it would not be a waste of money. It's a backup plan that you might actually need. So now, let's move on to the final update to see how the story ends. Well, as you could imagine, the 11-day ongoing visit has been crazy. The plan was to stay the nights in a hotel, but I changed my mind at the last minute for two reasons. I'm a stay-at-home mom and only have $3,000 to my name, and it's my apartment. I'd have to pack the entire place to be able to stay in a hotel. I figured I would try and drive them out instead. That didn't work. Day 2, sister-in-law's kid woke up feeling sick. I asked them politely to stay in a hotel since baby is not vaccinated. It was a huge huff and puff, visibly annoyed at me. What the F? Husband didn't back me up. That was the first major red flag. We spent more time trying to separate the boy and my baby than anything. Newsflash, they didn't get a hotel. Baby has been limited to playpen because there's Korean food and Legos borrowed into my carpet. They had planned a night stay at a Great Wolf Lodge a year ago. I talked about not wanting to stay the night. We're only 30 minutes from the apartment. I'd rather not bring half the house. We talked about this a few times over time. Come time to go, and husband asks if I brought the pack and play. We had to drive separately. I said, no, we talked about this. Of course, he conveniently doesn't remember. I did not go back for it. We hung out for a few hours and dinner, and baby and I went home. My husband and I have been sleeping in the living room so baby can sleep in peace. He's a light sleeper compared to other babies. So with visitors, husband insists on moving back into the room. He wakes up around 5. I try my best to wake him before the alarm goes off. I succeed only once. Now my baby has been waking around 5 a.m. since Christmas. He used to sleep until 6:37. I worked hard to get baby into a good sleeping schedule. I can't help but blame it on the company and the alarm. Second major red flag, not caring about my sleep and saying, "You're a mother, it's your job." I want to do more than sleep and take care of baby. The stress of visitors has made trivial things look big. It's my son's first Christmas and we had picked a cute stocking for him. Without telling me, they swapped it with the 5-year-old. Now, we asked them if he needed a regular-sized stocking. They said, no, just get small ones for decoration. Needless to say, I was more pissed than I should have been. Then, last night, we were eating at a pizza place and wanting to split a few different flavors. Sister-in-law's wife hates red sauce, so we all got pizzas without it. Everyone got the one they wanted. When I said my choice, I got an, I don't want a lot of meat, even though sister-in-law ate only 2 slices. Again, trivial in the grand scheme, but feeling pushed to the side the whole time makes trivial seem large. Pumping in the bathroom alone was bad enough until I put my foot down and just used a breastfeeding cover at the kitchen table. I always got, "What are you doing in the bathroom?" when they all knew I was pumping. I'm taking a bunch of equipment with me, not to mention asking the group if they need to use it before I go in. 6 people using one bathroom wasn't as chaotic as I imagined. However, this morning, my husband was in the bathroom and the 5-year-old had to pee. Instead of waiting, they emptied a plastic bottle and let him pee in it, in my kitchen. I can't make this crap up. This morning, my son woke up at 4:45. His sleep got messed up from Christmas morning and the alarm. Just as I predicted, I had enough. I told my husband I'm through with him. He tried calling me "see you next Tuesday" multiple times, saying he should have never had a baby with a weak woman. "You never sleep when the baby sleeps. I have insomnia. I try." I tried to wait until they left, but I just can't take it. No regard for my son or I. Oh, and my husband said he was sick the other night, yet refused to leave the bed. Now I'm sick, and I'm sure my baby was sick yesterday. I wish you wouldn't get so worked up over this. Baby will be fine. The worst anyone will get is a cold. The fact that he doesn't care if anyone gets sick is inexcusable. Both him and his sister didn't care. Baby's never been so fuzzy and tired than yesterday. No respect for my son is the final breaking point for me. Thanks to the amount of comments on my original post, I realized how brainwashed I've been. This is a textbook narcissist that I wasted 7 years with. There, I had to say it. Now it's a matter of where we'll go, but we'll get there. Thanks for all the support. Well, Opie, I think you're making the right choice. Your husband clearly has no respect or consideration for you and your child. That's not just a red flag, that's a bunch of red flags altogether. If I were you, I'd do 3 things right away. 1, of course, contact the lawyer. 2, go to your parents' house. And 3, if the apartment is yours and it is in your name, put it on the market at the same time as you serve him with an eviction notice. In the meantime, OP, here's wishing you all the best to you and your son. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Confession and it's by user JokingSometime5. I lied to my pick-me friend and she got a tattoo based off of it. It's been about 2 years since this happened, but I just got confirmation from a friend who attended her tattoo appointment that it was because of what I said. I, 25 female, was introduced to Peggy, fake name, 25 female through a mutual friend. She had recently moved into a friend's neighboring apartment unit and was quickly introduced to our friend group. Almost immediately, I could tell we weren't going to get along based off of some backhanded compliments that were given, but I decided that it was too quick to judge her fairly and invited her to a game night that a friend and I were hosting. Huge mistake. Game 1, sardines. During a drunken game of sardines in the dark, Peggy faked a fall and pushed my head into a shelf. How do I know she faked it? Because she literally told me in front of everyone and laughed about it, saying, "I found him first, that's why I pushed you." Game 2, King's Cup. Peggy called me out during the never have I ever portion for having gone through a divorce. Talking about it normally wouldn't have bothered me since everyone who was there already knew about it and were really supportive during that time. But it was the fact that she was trying to single me out and shame me for it. Throughout the rest of the night, this kind of behavior continued, and by the end, I was thoroughly convinced she had some sort of vendetta against me. Finding out what, or in my case, who it was, took almost no time at all. One of our friends, who we'll call Mark, was in attendance that first night. Mark, 28 male, is a tall, kind, funny, and generally attractive guy. Essentially, he's catnip for her type. At this time, we were pretty close friends, and Peggy did not like that. For the next 6 months, anytime he was around, I had to deal with the most ridiculous, awkward, and petty attempts of her trying to single me out or embarrass me. Now, here's where the tattoo comes into play. I had been planning on getting a dragon tattoo for over a year. I am fully aware that dragons are a common and trending tattoo, but I wanted it anyways because it was special to me and my mom. I had even worked with my tattoo artist on incorporating her favorite flowers into the piece and figuring out what kind of style or other details I wanted. About a month before my appointment, Peggy heard a friend and I talking about the tattoo and started asking questions. I swear I could see the moment the light bulb went off in her head because she grew the biggest crap-eating grin I have ever seen. My light bulb moment happened shortly after. When she asked where and what kind of dragon tattoo I wanted to get, I lied. I told her about how much I loved the movie Spirited Away, because I do, it's a banger. And I went on a tangent about how I grew up on that movie, how my dad showed it to me, and that it'd be cool if he, Haku, was wrapping around my arm or something. If you haven't seen the movie, one of the main characters is a boy named Haku, who turns into a dragon. Peggy had never seen this movie before, so I encouraged her to check it out and ended the conversation there. Now, considering she had never seen it before, I didn't think she'd actually do it, but Reddit, she did it, and it wasn't just a tiny cutesy little thing either. She committed to my exact description. The thing is freaking huge, laughing emoji and crying emojis. When she showed it to me 2 weeks later, I was in shock, and she probably thought I was upset for taking something from me. But I went home that night and switched between feeling awful for lying to her and laughing for how utterly unbelievable she was for doing it. 2 years later, and I'm still doing that. I had confessed to a friend recently about my lie, and that's when she told me. She went to the tattoo appointment with Peggy that day, and word for word, Peggy had said, "She's going to be so upset. This is like the exact tattoo she wanted." Well, OP, after what she said, I think you should not feel guilty anymore because that's exactly what she wanted to get, and she seems happy about it. Anyway, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. First, I'd like to answer some questions. 1. Regarding the girl who went to the appointment with Peggy, we didn't become friends until after this all happened. At the time, we were only acquaintances and she ended up dropping her as a friend for her own personal reasons after. We discovered later in our friendship our mutual distaste for Peggy, but this also wasn't the crux of our friendship. 2. Neither her or I dated Mark. I had turned him down early in our friendship before she came into the picture. Don't get me wrong, Mark is a catch, but he deserves someone who's crazy about him, and that just wasn't me. We sorted our friendship out prior to this whole mess, and hopefully we can find a healthy middle ground of crazy. Lol. He was pretty oblivious to the whole thing, and I didn't need him to sort it out for me, so he didn't know until way after. Now, here's the update. I finally showed this post to the friend who went with her to the appointment, and the crazy thing is, Peggy did this to her too with a tattoo commemorating her favorite music artist. Crying emoji. My friend said, "I initially wanted to get the tattoo because he's literally my favorite artist. And so I sent my artist, the one you met, my reference photo, and she said she wanted to come because she was thinking about getting one too." So we get there and he started doing my stencil and stuff, and when Peggy saw, she said, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute. It would be so cool if we got matching tattoos." I, being excited and at this point having no issues with her whatsoever, was like, "Yeah girl, it's your body." So I was just, okay, let it happen. I guess it's a memento for her. Shrug. She got the exact same thing and exact same placement too. Finally, to those who are asking me to show this to her to get her reaction, I don't live there anymore, so I can't. I can say, however, one of her friends found this post and reached out to me on Reddit trying to get me to say my name. I didn't. Since then, Peggy has changed her profile picture. Lol. Well, OP, I wouldn't feel bad. She wanted that tattoo. Whatever the reasons were, she willingly went to get a particular tattoo. Now, the fact that she was trying to get one over you, that just gives you the edge. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you